Alrighty, well, real quick, I wanted to cover something that has kind of caught my attention and I'm sure is interesting to some of you, and that's the shortfall of Donald Trump's media stocks. So, ever since he took Truth Social public and started trading, I I think that this entire stock has been overinflated. I know, like shocking news right there. But what's really kind of confused me is just how the markets don't correct right away when that happens, and that they're essentially doing the same thing that they did during the housing crisis in 2008, where they're just applying these just bonkers numbers to the stocks where it's worth nowhere near that. Like, look at Twitter and how that worked out with the Elon Musk acquisition. So today they just released some news that Donald Trump's not going to be too happy about. So check this out. Right here is Trump's Media Technology Group, and this was what it closed out on the stock market. Now, when they reported about this, it was at its slump at 1352. It did rebound a little bit at 13.65, but it's still at its record low. So this is a really interesting article about this specifically because Donald Trump does have some decisions to make here, and he came out publicly and said that he doesn't have any intention on selling, which he's smart. He's smart enough to, and I hate even saying that, but it's true. He is smart enough to understand that if he were to go and sell, even though he said he wasn't, that would not be good for him, especially in an election season. But if he loses the presidency, I would expect him to sell his shares of Truth Social here. But here, let's give this a little read. One of the most powerful people on the planet has been blocked from selling one of his most prized assets until now. The restraints preventing former President Donald Trump from selling his shares in his social media company are set to expire as soon as Thursday afternoon. So that was yesterday. This will free Trump and other insiders at Trump Media and Technology Group to sell their shares in the most controversial company that owns Truth Social if they wish. It's a major moment for Trump Media, whose share price has fallen dramatically since going public in March. Oh, March, not May. My bad. The former president is the face of the company and is determined oh my Lord. I'm having a really hard time because of some allergy meds that I recently took that are really making me sleepy. So, all right. It's a major moment for Trump Media, whose share price has fallen dramatically since going public in March. The former president is the face of the company and is its dominant shareholder. The risk that Trump and other insiders could rush for the exits has been hanging over the stock for weeks, which that's the main reason that it keeps dipping, is because everybody who even the smaller shareholders, they're all anticipating that Trump was going to just bail. So it's kind of bad when you think about it, where you're just like, oh, so it was just an anticipation of him doing what he's been known to do anyway. That might just kind of prove that he's not like the best businessman that everybody has always been making him out to be. The former president is the face of the company. Oh, I already read that. However, Trump has declared that he is not going anywhere, telling reporters last week, no, I'm not selling. No, I love it. No, I'm not selling. No, I love it. I love it. Those comments sent Trump's media share price skyrocketing for a few hours at least. It's a big decision for Trump, who has seen the value of his stake plunge to $1.8 billion. Ooh, plunged to $1.8 billion. I mean, it was worth $6.2 billion. Again, overinflated. I think that this is just a correction, honestly, and they just don't want to admit it. Even if Trump wanted to unload all or most of his shares, he would be limited by the reality of the situation. Someone who owns 57% of the stock can't simply call his broker and sell all, or even most of his shares, without tanking the share price. He's smarter than that, said Michael whatever, a finance professor at Baylor University. Obviously, he wouldn't want to dump all his shares onto the market. It would be a massive supply of shares. It would not go well for the share price or him. Not only does Trump own a controlling stake in the company, but his initials are the stock ticker DJT. DGT, DJT, my lord. And he is the most popular user on the main product. Well, yeah, without Donald Trump, there is no True Social. Like, come on. No, people are follow Steve Bannon. Yeah, he'll take over. Come on. This is a company whose value is so utterly tied to one person. It's pretty strange. Not even with Apple and Steve Jobs did we see something like this. That's why it's so crucial that Donald Trump has signaled that he isn't selling. People that think I'm leaving, that's why they're down. Because it's different if I leave, but I'm not. Again, go ahead and believe him if you want, because that's on you guys. Disclosure required. If Trump changes his mind and decides to sell, which I'm going to just go out on a limb and say he's more than likely going to. Yeah, I'm really going out on a limb. No, he's going to. If Trump changes his mind and decides to sell even some of his shares, he will be required to disclose that transaction publicly within 2 business days. So it gives people within the market time to bail. The Securities and Exchange Commission requires shareholders owning more than 10% of a company's shares to file a Form 4 detailing stock sales. Lockup restrictions like the ones facing Trump are typical in deals like the one that brought Trump Media public last spring. Jesus. The idea is that not blah 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 blah. Using stock to borrow money. Oh, are we really worried about that anymore because of what happened? Because remember that all of this, like the stuff with his stocks, was a big deal specifically because he couldn't pay for his legal fees. So, are we really gonna sit here and worry about that right now? But, you know what? Let's see what the stock market's at today. Okay. I hate to say it. It's kind of following the trend of the NASDAQ. Here we go. Shares of Trump Media and Technology. I'm so sick of this. His fucking DJT fell 5% on Friday as True Social's parent company extended its week's steep sell-off after a lockup on insider sales expired. Yeah, so everybody was anticipating that he was going to sell around this date, and then he had to come out and make sure that the market corrected. So, I mean, that was pretty smart. I will give him that, as far as making sure that more shareholders bought in and just kind of hodled or whatever the fuck. But, alrighty. Well, I thought that it was interesting that his media company is tanking pretty hard, but somehow, some way, the stock market is just like, nope, still worth money. It's insane to me that this is the world we're living in. But yeah, tell me how much more you're worried about your capital gains taxes. So anyway, if you enjoyed this content, leave a like, comment, subscribe. I'm trying to get to 1,000. So yeah, I'll see you in the next one.